Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have some bad news for you if you're a mage player, a rogue player, or a shaman player, or maybe it's good news, but we got some nerfs, boys. Okay, here they are, jumping right into it. I like to keep you guys up to date here on the YouTube channel. Let me just quickly say, I read through these changes. I think a lot of them are very good, and that's coming from a mage player. Okay, so we'll start at the top and we'll slowly break this down. Azurite Veins, Azurite trait, duration reduced to 9 seconds when engaged in combat with enemy players. This is very good. This was the trait that was healing you. You actually couldn't get it on a mage, but a lot of other classes were using Azurite Veins, and it was very strong. And then it was also nerfed by 33% when engaged in combat with enemy players. This is great. By the way, I would expect Azurite Fortification, I think it is, the thing that heals you while stunned and rooted. I do expect that to get nerfed as well in a future patch, but I'm really, really happy that this specific trait, the healing on it, got nerfed, because a lot of people are stacking these defensive traits that make them almost impossible to kill in PvP. So, Mage. Mage. Frost and Fire Mage. This is what I play, boys. This is a little scary, little nervous. These came out 10 minutes ago, and my heart dropped a little bit, alright? Frigid Grasp, Azurite trait, is now removed from the mage when Ice Form fades. When it fades, that means when it's purged, I believe. When Ice Form comes off naturally after 10 seconds or whatever it is, instead of the 20-second undispellable Frigid Grasp that it was before. Huge nerf, alright? One of the biggest reasons Frigid Grasp was good, if you guys didn't know what it is, it was an Azurite trait that gives you intellect when you pop Icy Veins, but then when you go Ice Form, it actually still gave you the trait because it kind of was Icy Veins. So when Ice Form got purged, you would still keep the trait, give you a ton of intellect, and you basically use Ice Form just for the intellect buff, not for the 30% Frostbolt buff at all. Anyway, that got nerfed. Now if Ice Form gets purged, you don't have it. When Ice Form fades, you don't have it. A lot of things like that. So now it's a lot worse. I'll go into detail in a second here. But intellect granted from Frigid Grasp is reduced by 66% when casting Ice Form. PvP talent matches reduce cooldown. Guys, rip Ice Form Frigid Grasp build, alright? That lasted 2 weeks before it got nerfed. I'm actually surprised, alright? I did not think this was going to get nerfed, and I didn't really use it that much, but this got nerfed hard, guys. Basically, F's in the chat. Oh, this isn't Twitch. F's in the YouTube comments. Is that a thing for the for the Frigid Grasp trait, guys? Intellect reduced by 66%, and it's purgeable. Dunzo, man. Dunzo. Another talent's going to take its place. I've been running Battlefield Focus mainly. You know, it's actually kind of funny. I've been farming my butt off the past 3 weeks for these Frigid Grasp traits. 1 week before the reset and the last 2 weeks ever since the buff. Guys, I still haven't gotten the Frigid Grasp traits on my main mage, alright? I haven't even tried out the spec and it got nerfed. Feels bad, man. But hey, feels good, man, because now I don't need to farm it anymore, and I got the other good traits, alright? I'll probably be playing with Battlefield Focus. I might be trying some Tunnel of Ice builds out, and I'll tell you guys why here in a second. But Comet Storm damage reduced by 20% when engaged in combat with enemy players. This is a nerf that I've been expecting for a very, very, very long time, ever since beta, so months ago. I was like, yeah, Comet Storm's getting nerfed. It's hitting way too hard. And then just every time the PvP tunings came out, it didn't get nerfed. And I'm just like, why is this not getting nerfed? It's hitting too hard. Like, I'm a mage, and like this is clearly hitting too hard. It finally got nerfed, guys. Okay, makes sense. I can't argue with it too much, because it does make sense, alright? So there it is. Comet Storm nerf. It was hitting very hard. Frostbolt buff by 15%. And a lot of you guys are probably excited about this, and I am too. I am a general believer that damage from cooldowns needs to be nerfed, damage from non-cooldowns, so Frostbolt, Fireball, all that kind of stuff needs to be buffed, and that generally takes the game into a very fun direction where stuff can happen at a moment's notice and not just in goes, and it makes gameplay very volatile, and I like that. I really, really like it. It's a good change. However, Frostbolt right now, if you hit someone with a Frostbolt, it hits like 1% of their life. So now it's going to hit 1.15% of their life. that still is not enough. In my opinion, I was talking to my chat, I was talking to some people. If a Frostbolt does a good amount of damage, or if it crits, it should maybe do 4% of someone's life, I think. And then if it crits, it should maybe do 6% of someone's life, 6 or 7% of someone's life. And I don't think that's crazy, right? Because Frostbolt, it's a 1.5 second cast, maybe a little bit longer depending on your haste. If you cast it 4% of someone's life, and then if it crits maybe 6 or 7, I don't think that's crazy. Let me know down below in the comments if you think I'm crazy for thinking it should hit that hard. But what that respectively means is that Frostbolt needs about, you're going to think I'm crazy, about a 400% buff, 300 or 400% buff, all right? I said it, right? Like that just needs to happen if you want to make Frostbolt a spell that's worth casting in PvP outside of just, let me build 5 icicles or let me slow the enemy. Now, if they want it to just be, let's cast Frostbolt to build 5 icicles and slow the enemy and not do any damage, then it's fine the way it is. If you want it to actually be used to do damage, to burst, to get people low HP, it needs a 300 or 400% buff, and that's just what it is, right? So 15%, that's nice, but it's not really what it needs to make Frostbolt scary in any way. Frostbolt's still not scary. However, there are Azurite traits called Tunnel of Ice that, I haven't tested this is purely theory crafting, that allow your Frostbolt to stack up damage based on how many times you're casting Frostbolt, and then you could go like Lonely Winter, and then with this new 15% buff, and then maybe with Deep Shatter, right? So if you stack like 10 different things, all right, Frostbolt might be in a position where you could get some pretty hefty crits with it. I'm going to have to test this, but I think it might be a build that we could see people playing when they're playing Wizards. So maybe still not RMP, because in RMP, you need that instant cast burst on your goes, like Calm Storm, Ice Nova, Orb, Iceland, stuff like that, as we know it. But I could see this Frostbolt build becoming more popular in a Wizard competition where you're just casting Frostbolts and getting that Tunnel of Ice very, very high, and then getting some big Frostbolts with Deep Shatter. Is that going to be good? I don't know. I'm going to have to test it, but I'm excited to test it because I think it has potential to be actually pretty decent. But I'm going to have to farm those traits now. Feels good, man. All right, so we got fire nerfs here. Meteor reduced by 20%. And come on, like we knew this was happening. Of course, everyone knew this was happening. Meteor's hitting way too hard. To be fair, I'm actually surprised it only got nerfed by 20%. I was expecting maybe 30% minimum because it's hitting really, really hard. But hey, 20% nerf, I'll take it. I mean, I play Fire Mage. I've played some Fire Mage in the past. I think it's a good change, all right? Hitting way too hard. And then they gave Fireball the same Frostbolt treatment with a 15% damage buff in PvP combat or engaged enemy players. Same type of thing, guys. I've played, how many games have I played of Fire now? Maybe 50? Something like that. 50 games of Fire. I've never casted Fireball. Okay, I shouldn't say never. I have almost never casted Fireball in Arena. All right, it's just not worth casting. You'd rather cast Scorch to build up some more procs. You'd rather cast all of your instant cast, Phoenix Flames, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Meteor, sometimes Living Bomb, Polymorph, Dragon's Breath, Ring of Frost. So many things to cast. It's not Fireball. You never, ever, ever, ever cast Fireball in Arena right now. So hopefully this 15% buff will make it worth the cast. Sometimes, all right, sometimes. I like that each spell kind of has a use case. You'll use it sometimes, use this sometimes. So that's cool. I like it. I like it. The Meteor nerf, good. Fireball buff, good. Assassination Rogues, all right. This isn't a surprise. We knew it was happening. Assassination Rogues were stomping on everyone these past couple of weeks. All damage reduced by 6% when engaged in combat enemy players. All damage across the board, okay? That is good, and I like it. Okay, it's a good change, whatever. But moving forward, what I really want to see are some buffs to the weaker classes, like Sub-Rogue, maybe potentially Outlaw Rogue, maybe Warlocks, Death Knights, Windwalkers. There's a lot of weak classes right now. So what I don't want to see is just nerfs to the point where every class in the game feels incomplete and crippled, maybe. I want all of the weaker classes to then get buffed to a point where all of the classes are on an even playing field, so they don't feel, nothing feels strong, nothing feels weak, everything just feels good, right? So I don't mind these assassination nerfs. I don't. But what I don't want to see happen is, oh, assassin's still the best. Let's nerf it again. No, no, no. If assassin's still the best, then let's buff sub. Let's buff outlaw to make sure it's competing with assass. Does that make sense? So I would love to see that. Same thing with arcane mages. Arcane's not doing too hot. I would love to see some arcane mage buffs, not fire and frost nerfs, so that everything all of a sudden is on an even playing field. Okay, that's, I think, a general idea that needs to be understood and more talked about, because you can't just keep nerfing everything, because at the end of the day, then the game's just not fun to play for anybody. Versus buff the things that are weak, and then everyone's having fun, kind of like Mr. Pandaria, or maybe Wrath of the Lich King, when everything felt broken, everything was busted, but we had a good time because everyone was powerful. Anyway, rant over. Enhanced Shamans, alright? Actually, System Shock PvP talent damage reduced by 33% as well for Assassins, so that's actually a double nerf there for Assassination Rogues. Which, yeah, needed, alright? We got that out of the way. Enhanced Shamans, performing very strong. I made a video talking about Frostmage Enhance. Strong composition, alright? Enhance, very good. All damage reduced by 5% when engaged in combat with enemy players. Probably good, alright? That's 1% less than the Assassination treatment. And we got mana regen reduced by 30% when engaged in combat with enemy players. Healing surge reduced by 33% when engaged in combat, so their off-fields took a big hit. And Roiling Storm, Azurite trait, additional Storm Strike damage now diminished per stack when in combat with enemy players. So Storm Strike nerf, Healing Surge nerf, Mana Regen nerf, Damage nerf. Alright, I can't say it wasn't all needed, because I think it was. But once again, would love to see some buffs to other melees, like DKs and Windwalkers. Instead of nerfing everything to their level, let's get some buffs on the weaker melee, so we can just see more compositions and more classes up at the top. Once again, guys, a lot of big Frostmage nerfs, but I have to say I do agree with them. I would like some more buffs in other places, I guess is what I'm saying. But overall, I like the tuning. Let me know what you guys think down below, as always. Alright, and I like to keep you guys up to date here on the YouTube channel, so you guys don't get blindsided when you're tuning into Arena, or when you're tuning into this channel when you're playing Arena for yourself. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you did not enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs down. Talk to me down below in the comments what you guys think about all of these changes. Good, bad, Fs, no Fs, whatever, alright? And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.